yet another DJs BrewTube beer review. Well, look what we got in front of us today, guys. We've got yet another Stone collab beer. And which collab beer is this today? Out of our buddies from Escondido, California, it's the R&R Coconut IPA. Now, this beer is a collaboration between Ryan, Robert, Stone, and Rip Current Brewing. Now, Ryan and Robert, what is their significance in this whole thing? Well, this beer comes out of a homebrew competition, just like the Dayman Coffee IPA did. These guys were the winners, and even more significantly, our buddy Ryan, or Stunpyjoejr, is a fellow BrewTuber. How awesome is that? This is living the dream, guys. He does awesome home brewing, great reviews. If you haven't checked out his channel, check it out. Really good stuff. I think it's San Diego beer blog, Stunpyjoejr, and just really great stuff. It's really cool that someone in the BrewTube community came out with something like this and like I said, is living the dream. That's awesome. So, what about this beer? The R&R Coconut IPA is American IPA. It's been brewed once, 7.7% ABV and 90 IBUs. Now, this beer is basically, as they're billing it as a pina colada in a glass. So, maybe a hoppy pina colada in a glass. Now, back in my bartending days, I made a lot of pina coladas, and I happen to like them quite a lot. So, in this beer, hop-wise, they're using Helga, Belma, Amarillo, Centennial, Calypso, Simcoe, etc., etc. And for malts, they're using Pilsner malt, Munich, and I think honey malt, if memory serves. I've watched a couple reviews on this one. I got this a little bit later than some other guys, and I'm going to do a little bit of twist on this review. I watched Ryan's review of this, and he was saying that he thinks after some time, the coconut flavor that's in this beer, we'll see when we taste it, will come up in the beer. So I've got a fresh bottle. I actually grabbed two bottles. I've got a fresh bottle. This one, let's see, enjoy by date on it is 10/10/13, and I think this is maybe like a 2-week-old bottle. So, or 3 weeks, something like that. I'm going to give it out to closer to the review date on the second bottle. Anyways, enough flapping my gums on that stuff. Let's see what this brew that they use 280 pounds of hops in tastes like, and as well as a boatload of toasted macaroon-style coconut. Oh, nice hiss up off the top. Plenty of smoke wafting off of this. I can already smell the hops and the coconut coming out of this bad boy. Let's get it in the glass. Nice. Gorgeous golden color. Pouring out nice and clear. Stop right there. We got a big bomber of this to enjoy today. Look at that, guys. Beautiful orange amber color. Reminds me a lot of the color of Enjoy By in some ways. And not Dayman. Dayman was a little darker than this. We got a solid one finger head. I didn't pour it super aggressively. Really tight bubbles. Not sudsy at all. They're khaki off-white. When I swirl it, we're getting some clingy glass lacing and definitely plenty of alcohol legs. Really nice looking beer. Look at that, guys. I'm drinking this now at about like 48 degrees, I would guess. Yeah, 48 degrees. Let's get a nose on this and see what's going down in that department. Up front, there's really big hops, kind of some dankness as well. A lot of tropical fruit. Mango, maybe a little peach. I'm getting some melon on this. A lot of tropical fruit in this. A slight bit of citrus, piney. The hop I smell most in this because I've played with it a decent bit in making like I made some dry hopped cider with it, was Belma, and I smell a lot of the Belma in this. Belma throws that dankness as well. Really nice smelling beers. Hop forward. I'm getting the slightest bit of coconut in the background, but the coconut really in the aroma is quite faint. All right, that's enough for the aroma. Let's see what the taste is on this. Right off the bat, it tastes like a real high-quality IPA. The hops are in the forefront, getting some pineapple, the tropical fruits, a little bit of mango, some dankness. I'm getting like a bit of melon as well, maybe even a little tiny bit of like peach and strawberry, and pine, and a bit of herbal flavor in there. The coconut is really faint, so I'm wondering if I let this warm a little bit, if the coconut flavor will come up in the beer. So I'm going to take a break right here, let this one warm up, and I'll be right back with what it tastes like after it warms up, some final thoughts, and a grade on part 1 here. Back in a flash. Hey guys, I'm back. I've been drinking this one down. It's a really tasty brew. and is a really solid American IPA or IPA, whatever you want to call it. But what I do think is lacking in this beer is the coconut flavor. The bitterness that's in this beer from the hops overshadows in a sort of dank kind of herbal way and a bitter aftertaste way the flavor of the coconut. It is true 100% that as this beer warms, the coconut aroma, the sort of pina colada in a glass as a beer form aroma increases, as well as the flavor of the coconut increases. However, it's still way overshadowed by the bitterness, and I agree with Ryan, who said it's a little bitter now, and maybe you need some time for the alpha acids and things in this beer and the hoppiness to die down and for that coconut flavor to rise up. So I'm really glad that I got a second bottle of this, and I want to take a look at it with a couple months on it and see what those couple months do as the hops die down, if the coconut comes back. And I'll be back the couple months from now, we'll be back with a grade on it from then. So, current grade on this one. Rate Beer's giving it a 92, all these guys drinking it fresh, and Beer Advocate's giving it an 83. I'm going to go right now, judging upon the flavor, the availability of the coconuts that's there, the bitterness, and the as advertised quality on it, I'm going to give it an 89, which is a high B+, my highest on the B+ scale. It's just the coconut flavor is not pronounced enough in this beer and is really dominated at this point, okay, in freshness, that as opposed to what is advertised on the bottle. So it's not a bad beer. And I'll be back with the second half. Like I said, the 2 months from now, will be reviewing another bottle of this. So, thanks a million, guys, and we'll see you in part 2. Peace out! Okay guys, I'm back. You know what? What's been a second for you has been a little over 4 months for me. We've been selling our R&R Coconut IPA here to see if when the hops die out, which was mega hops in this beer, if the coconut flavor comes up. So, let's get the top popped on this. Without further ado, get it in the glass and tell you what's up. Now, oh, nice hiss off the top. Now, from the last time, as you know, I learned that this beer was better at a warmer temperature. So I got this beer at about like 48 to 50 degrees right now. So, took it right out of the cellar. As you can see, the wardrobe's changed. The last time I was drinking this beer, it was summertime, and now it's cold. So, let's get it in the glass. Wow, perfectly clear. Super clear last time. I noticed on the bottom of the bottle here, there was a little bit of trub, but, you know, that's to be expected. Alright, get it in the glass. Wow, I can smell hops wafting from here already. Let's get a look at this bad boy. As you'll recall, it's a 7.7% beer, and when it was fresh, it was 90 IBUs. I'm sure that has died down since then. Crystal clear, solid one-finger head, really tight pack bubbles, little tiny soap sudsy at the top. Really gorgeous looking IPA. It's a nice golden amber color. Wow, beautiful. Looks just like before. Let's get a nose on this and see what's up in that department now that it's cellared. Hello, coconut. There it is. I'm getting it more of it right up front. This time it's subtle, but it's there, and it's underneath of sweet malt and like citrus aroma. Before, I remember more of the pine and you know, that kind of stuff in it, but now I'm smelling more of that citrus action, more tropical fruit, a little bit of pineapple. It's smelling like more of a straight up IPA, kind of like maybe East Coast IPA smelling in some ways. But the coconut is there in the background now, whereas in the aroma before it was super faint. It's a little more pronounced. So let's get a taste on this and see what's up in that department. Cheers. Well, even with the cellaring, the coconut hasn't come up much more, but it is more pronounced. The extreme bitterness, like fingerprint that this beer put on my tongue before and left there, that's gone and died down. It's still a hoppy beer, even after 4 months in the cellar. Now, I cellared it properly, right temperature, light abated, all that good stuff, but it's still got plenty of hops in it. It doesn't taste like a faded IPA, if you know what I mean. Like when the hops go away and they're totally died down, that bitterness is gone. All you're left is kind of like this sort of stale hop taste and like sweetness, but it's stringent and like lasting bitterness isn't there, and it's got a more creamy mouthfeel now that I'm drinking it, cellared, than it did before, and I do get more of like a nuttiness It doesn't taste like big coconut necessarily, but it's there and you can notice it more. So time in the cellar has not affected this beer one bit in a negative manner. I think it's actually improved it and it's made it more coconut tasting. So that said, we got over half a bottle left here, and I think the next thing I'm going to do, we're going to do like an extra part of this video here coming up. And what are we going to do? We're going to infuse this beer with coconut. The other day I was watching YouTube obsessively, like I do all the time, watching my beer reviews, and I saw Jameson and Ryan doing a infusion of Bourbon County brand stout with toasted coconut in a French press. So I've got a French press. I've toasted up some nice sort of macaroon style coconut, and I'm going to go get my infuser now. I'm going to put some coconut in there. I'm going to load it up. I'm going to let it sit for about a half hour. And the reason I'm doing this is because I know that this beer, when Ryan brewed it, because I've watched folks review his homebrew, was way more coconut tasting, and it's fun. We got about a half a bottle left here, and I really like the idea that those guys had infusing it with a beer with a coconut in like a French press. That's really cool. So I'll be back for you as a flash, and we will do our infusion. Yeah. Here we are, guys. Here's our infusion after 45 minutes of our R&R Coconut IPA with some extra toasted coconut in our French press. And if you see down here at the bottom, guys, it's really cloudy compared to up at the top. Of course, some of those coconut oils and everything have seeped up to the top, but it's time to finish this bad boy off, and I'm right thirsty. We'll be back in a moment. Alright, our infusion process is done, and in the bottom of my French press, I put 3 tablespoons of toasted macaroon-style coconut, and let's put the plunger down and get all that coconut deliciousness into the beer and see what we got when we pour it out. Feels a little funky pouring a beer this way. Wow. You can see the super change in this as I pour it, guys. It's totally cloudy now, so you know we got plenty of that coconut flavor infused into there. Now I'm going to taste this, and I've got some left extra in my bottle, and from that bottle I'm going to pour it into here, and I'm going to like dial it down if there's too much coconut, or if it's just right, I'll just drink it like this. Let's get the appearance on it real quick. So as you can see, totally clouded out. Now it's like an unfiltered beer. There's obviously, like I said, tons of coconut, and you can see the coconut oils floating on the surface of the beer here. When I swirl it, man, it's coating the inside of the glass. Looks like a coconut milk. Whoa. Let's get a nose on this now. Man, big up in your grill coconut taste aroma. And then right after that, there's pineapple and citrus. It smells like, I think, what Ryan intended with that pina colada in the glass. It does smell like that now. Let's get a taste of it in this state and see how it goes. Cheers. Wow. Whoa. That's mega coconut. Wow. It's got a sweetness to it. Totally coating coconut-wise. This reminds me in some ways of the New Belgiums. They had the Lips of Faith coconut curry Hefeweizen that I had, but I didn't review. I had it at a friend's house, but wow. Big coconut. After that is pineapple. And I can see totally what he's talking about with the pina colada in the glass. I think I'm going to cut this a little bit. I got a little bit extra here of the original. I'll put it in the glass. Pour it tall. It's not going to make much of any head or anything with all those coconut oils in there. But, man, let's get a taste of this now. Swirl it around a little bit. Oh, look at that. It did make a head. Wow. That's pretty freaking cool. So, let's see. Yep. It's got more pineapple and more of the hop character and everything like that. And then the coconut's really playing in the background there. Yep. That's better balanced. Wow, that is awesome. So guys, look, I'm not doing this because I didn't think this beer was good to start with. I did this because I saw Ryan and those guys Ryan and Jameson infuse that Bourbon County brand stout with coconut. I had this one to do, and I think this level of coconut, like that's been infused now into this, is probably more like what the original, the contest winner was. But you know what? When you commercial and you ramp up a beer like that, and you get other guys like Riptide involved, and people put their fingerprints on the beer, you know what? It changes it. So, what do we give this stuff grade-wise? We'll do a big roundup, okay? The first time I graded this super fresh, it was days old when I got it, maybe like a week or so old. I gave it an 89, which is like a B+. At that time, Rate Beer was given a 92 and Beer Advocate was given an 83. Now, with 4 months past, the grade at Rate Beer level is 96 and Beer Advocate is still at an 83. Cellared, I like it better. I'm going to raise it up to a 90. I'm going to raise it up to the A- level. Cellared, I liked it better. I just did. Some of you folks may disagree with me and say, oh, it wasn't as good Cellared. I prefer it Cellared. I think it was a better tasting IPA. It wasn't as, like, it didn't leave this, like, palate, like, just wrecking bitterness. It was like citric acidity on your tongue like it did fresh. After you drank down the bottle, you know, went through 3/4 of the bomber, it was a really bitter fingerprint left on your tongue. In this state, when I drank half the bomber down, there was none of that when it was cellared. And the coconut was more present. It wasn't huge like this is, but it was there, and I think it was a better beer in like that kind of condition. So that's why I'm giving it A-. Now, like this, with the extra coconut in it, man, guys, try this. This makes a really tasty-ass IPA, and I can totally see why Ryan and his partner Robert, you know, did it like this. And by the way, guys, thanks for bringing this beer to us. So many people have reviewed this beer. I think it's probably got to be one of the most reviewed beers on the BrewTube, you know, blogosphere or video beer review scene after all. And you know what? It got a lot of cool conversation going on, and I really liked watching. God, I can't even remember how many reviews of it I watched. So, great job on this, guys, man. You're living the dream, and that's totally freaking awesome. So, till the next DJs BrewTube, we got to talk about something totally important. We got to talk about thinking globally and drinking locally and supporting the craft beer movement and helping this thing grow so more awesome beers from homebrewers originally like R&R Coconut IPA come out, hit the market, and make us geek out and review it like crazy people. So, to the next time, thanks a million to each and every one of you. Until then, I got nothing for you but a big ass peace out.